Hey, it's Lynn Brown, and welcome to the Gritty Women Global Podcast, episode 99. Putting all your eggs in one basket. First of all, just let me tell you, I appreciate y'all tuning in and following the Gritty Women Global Podcast. I really do. And if you find that you like it and you want to encourage someone, feel free to share it. Share it with your friends. But let me just give you the 20-second version on how this all started. Honestly, after spending the first half of my life caught in the comparison trap and people-pleasing, I just decided one day to bet on me. And when I took that one step in the direction of my dreams, everything began to change. Now, hear me out on this. I didn't say that my life is perfect because my life is far from perfect. But I will tell you that I'm a lot farther down the field than I was. But what I finally realized was that something had to change. In order for me to get a different result, things had to change. And maybe you're finding yourself, in a similar situation about something. Maybe it's a goal that you have for your family for a vacation in the summer. Maybe it's a financial goal or a health goal. Maybe it's you want to change careers or jobs or start something new. So wherever you are, just be all there. So today I want us to think into the messy middle. And I think because of Easter, as all of you know, I'm a person of faith. And this day has been one that in the past, I've often just skipped on through. I mean, we're very familiar with Good Friday and the cross and the crucifixion. We've seen the reenactments. We've seen the pictures. We've sang the songs. We know Good Friday. And we know Easter morning. We know the thrill, the excitement of the stone that was rolled away and the tomb was empty. And we love that. And it's why we're here. And it's our hope. But the messy middleness of the Saturday oftentimes gets lost in the colored eggs and the jelly beans and the Brock's Robin eggs. All the, looking for the right Easter outfit for those famous Easter pictures that everyone hates taken. So oftentimes we want to skip right through that in between because we rush to the happy ending. We don't want to sit in the awkwardness. We don't want to stay in the quiet question of all the things that were probably so hard on that first Saturday. And you may find yourself today caught in the messy middle of a circumstance that you don't see how you're going to get through to the other side. Maybe it's a question that you have or something that you're facing or something that you've just gone through. Maybe it's the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, or the loss of a promise. Maybe it's the loss of trust. I don't know. I don't know what you're going through, but I know that Brene Brown always says it's messy in the middle, but that's where the magic is. The thing is, even with the disciples, Jesus told them ahead of time. He's like, there's going to come a time when you're going to be super sad. It's like he was giving them a warning ahead of time that they were going to experience sadness and separation from him, but that he would come back. He promised that. But in the middle of the darkness and the question, in the middle of the panic that they had after that crucifixion, they forgot everything. And I don't know about y'all, but I've done that. I've sometimes gotten so worked up that temporarily, just for, a little minute, I've forgotten. But now, I have really, 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 really worked hard on my relationship, with Jesus and staying close to that fire. And so when I find myself starting to, spin out, I will reel myself right back in quickly. And maybe I sing a song, or maybe I say a verse, or maybe I just say Jesus, or whatever. But it's been a long time coming. Jesus went on, even in the end of that chapter of John, he said, he spoke peace over him. He's like, peace I leave with you, not as the world gives, I unto you. So don't let your hearts be troubled. Don't be afraid. He gave them the peace. He was giving them, throwing out the life vest for them ahead of time. So he saw Saturday coming, but his followers missed it. And even when they were in the storm in the middle of the sea, they forgot. They forgot. He was sleeping. Remember? Jesus was fast asleep in the middle of the storm. I heard a sermon not long ago, and it's like when you can get to the place where you can sleep in your storms, there will be nothing that can stop you. And it's there at that moment that we begin to feel the freedom, experience the freedom of the cross, the power from the cross. I don't know about y'all, but I see a lot of people that talk the talk like, they're Christians, and they're so consumed with how it looks or sounds to be a Christian, but they don't even realize, they're not even aware that the power and what comes out of their mouths is not matching what they say they believe. I recently heard a person talking about an experience. They had just attended a funeral and just how dark and sad and pitiful it was. And I was just like, I don't know. It's just not all. Yes, I'm not saying funerals aren't sad. They are very sad. They are, but there's this peace and this promise that goes with it for believers. So this morning in my quiet time, I just, I ask myself a question. Lynn Brown, not you, not what everybody else needs to ask and think about. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just trying to say, this is what I did. I was like, Lynn, what have I missed sometimes by waiting in the middle? And oftentimes, when we're discouraged and it's messy, we just want it to end. We just want it to be over. We just want the quick fix. We don't want to do the push-ups. We don't want to do the lunges to fit back into the jeans or whatever. We don't want to get the weeds out of the garden. We just want the pretty flowers. We want to be healthy, but we don't really want to eat the kale. We'd rather eat the robin eggs that I just got into, by the way. But oftentimes it's during the uncertainty when we look back and see that He has always promised to protect us. We have those promises. Like the Psalm 91, we dwell in the shelter of the Most High. We can rest in the shadow of the Almighty. He has promised to never leave us or forsake us. And He loves you. He loves me with an everlasting love. Regardless, right in the middle of the messy middle. Right in the middle of the messy Saturday. And maybe you're stuck in a Saturday experience right now. But you know what? Sunday is on the way. It's coming. And I always remember this, and I know you know this, but in the waiting, He's working. He never sleeps. He hadn't somehow just skipped over you and your family. He's heard every prayer. He sees every tear that trickles down your cheek. He knows every thought that you have. So just take a deep breath and just rest. Just rest in Him, knowing that nothing is too big for Him. And nothing, not one thing that you can do or say or think will ever separate you from His love. Nothing. Not one thing. And we know the big plot twist here. We know He lives. We know the stone was rolled away. The tomb is empty. And because of that very thing, because He lives, guess what? Lynn Brown can face tomorrow. I can face right now. I can face this afternoon or tonight, whatever it is I have to face. And you can too, regardless. It doesn't matter how dark it looks. The power He has gifted us with, it's not nailed to the cross. And I think that's what I've been learning over the last couple of years. It's just that for so long, I did not live in the power of the cross. I lived in trying to beg for forgiveness for all the mistakes I had made in my life, hoping that I would just somehow safely land in heaven, and not really being taught growing up that there was power, like that we can have heaven on earth, that there is power. There is this resurrection power is real. I mean, I don't think that God planned all this out, put His Son through the cross for us just to live like half-hearted, lifeless, powerless people. No. We have the power. He even said that we can do more than He ever did. And we got to walk in that power and that belief. That's where the freedom comes. I'm super excited. I just have never experienced freedom like I'm beginning to to experience it now in my life, and I want to just tell everybody about it. So he gave us this gift. The gift from the cross is his Holy Spirit living in us. And it's up to me, it's up to Lynn Brown. If I choose to keep that fire and that flame going, it's not going to go by itself. It's not just one and done. It's not just, oh, well, I raise my hand, I want Jesus, and then I go about my merry way. No, that's not how relationships are built. If we truly want to have a friendship with him, we've got to build it and work on it. We gotta truly walk in oneness with him to know, like, and trust him. I mean, I have to love him with my whole heart. That means really looking, and over this past year, trust me, I have done some deep thinking, and I've had to kind of reorder some of my priorities. I had a few little idols in my life. Now, I didn't have any gold calves, but you know what I'm talking about. People can be idols. Ideas can be idols. Our work can be an idol. But regardless, all the shame, the guilt, the regret, and even the joys, everything was taken care of for us on the cross. And now we have the choice. We have the choice to follow him. I mean, he is the resurrected king, and he wants to resurrect each of us. And maybe this Easter, maybe today, this messy Saturday, maybe this is the time. And maybe you're listening to this after Easter has already passed, but it's still your time. The world needs you. The world needs you to run your race, to fan your flame, to set your soul on fire for him, to live and love and serve him with all of your heart. I mean, I think you would agree there's never been a better time than now for us to truly serve him by serving our neighbors. And everybody's like, well, where do you find these people? Anybody walking in front of you? Anybody you pass in the marketplace? Maybe in your own home? So the great news of this messy Saturday, this in the middle messy moment, is that the tomb couldn't hold him. And nothing can hold you back either when you walk in the power of the cross. There's nothing, no stone that can be rolled on the opening of your heart to prevent him from coming in. The cross is empty. He's not on the cross. If he was, we wouldn't have that power in us. So he is not on the cross. And I think we need to, well, I'm just going to speak for myself. Lynn Brown, let's just remember, he is in us. He's not on the cross. He is now occupied by our hearts. So hang on to the promises. Hang on to them. Maybe you learned them in Sunday school, and maybe you're like, oh no, you have no clue. I never even got taken to a church when I was little. Well, guess what? None of that matters, whether you were or not. What matters is that today, that your baskets, the basket of your heart is going to be overflowing with the promises of God. The joy of the Lord is your strength. And then when you toss in a few chocolate wrappers and robin eggs, then we're talking about heaven on earth. So you want some heaven on earth? You go ahead and get you some Jesus in there, thrown in with the joy of the Lord, and then toss in those chocolate rabbits and robin eggs, and we got something. I mean, all jokes aside, but he's calling you. He is calling you out. He's calling you out of the grave. Don't go back to that grave. There's nothing there. And you know what? He's calling me too, and he will forever be calling us. But I'm not going back. I don't know about you. I'm not going back. The first half of my life, I lived it in a dark hole of shame and guilt and trauma. And I'm not going back. And I don't want you to either. And he doesn't want you to either. The grave could not hold the truth. What Jesus did was final. And you know what? The devil is not happy about it one bit. Darkness is not happy about it one bit. The depression, anxiety, fear is not happy about it. Trauma and shame, they don't like it either. But what he did is forever, and it is final. When he said it is finished, that's exactly what he meant. I mean, I've got chills right now, but that's it. It is finished. So maybe today he's calling you out for good, to walk in the freedom of his love, to toss all the other keys to all the other doors that you sometimes are tempted to reopen and walk back in. Maybe you've got your foot in one right now, but guess what? You can choose to slam the door, throw away those keys, throw them in the bottom of the sea, and take the key to his heart and open that door and walk through it today on this messy middle moment between Good Friday and Easter. Walk through the door. It's go time. It's time to refresh, to renew, to restore. It's time for a redo. And I love that quote. Easter says you can put truth in a grave, but you can't keep it there. Watchman Nee said, remember, our history, our old history begins and ends with the cross, and our new history begins with our resurrection. So happy Resurrection Day. And happy Saturday. Yeah, just even this messy middle Saturday. But remember, the one basket that you can put all your eggs into is the one that he holds, his heart. He's waiting for you. Happy Easter to all of you. I love you, and thank you for tuning in. I look forward to hearing from you again soon. And next week, we're going to be celebrating our 100th podcast. So make sure you join in for the celebration. Take care. God love you, and God loves you, and so do I. Happy Easter. Bye-bye.